I don't want to say anything that should be too common sense, something which I'm sure everybody already knows. But in recent events, with all these hashtag events, I can't help but want to just say this just outright, as plain as possible. Nobody is owed a Twitter account. Nobody. No matter who you are, no matter what your political affiliation, Twitter is a free service. It is a private organization. It is not tax funded. Nobody is entitled to a Twitter service. Nobody. Not me, not Sargon of Akkad, not Milo Yiannopoulos. Nobody. And I don't want to be a dick by stating this. I'm not trying to alienate anybody. I'm not trying to lash out at people who I hope I've made somewhat of a friendship with recently. But I just need to obviously, just to state it, nobody is owed a Twitter account. I believe in democracy, don't get me wrong. I believe in freedom of speech. But at the same time, Twitter owns its own platform. They make their own rules. As far as I know, they have the right to do that. Even if that's hypocritical, even if it's unfair, they have the right to ban who they want to, or suspend. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I think Sargon of Akkad should be suspended from his Twitter account. I'm not saying he should, but, he got it back anyway, and I'm glad he did. But I think that the big deal some people make, especially anti-SJWs on Twitter, when it comes to these right-leaning YouTube figures, it's just getting to the point of absolute ridiculousness. I get it. There are a lot of people on the left side of things who do not like a contrasting narrative. I understand. At the same time, to me, some of this behavior from the anti-SJWs, especially increasingly on the right side, is getting to the point where do not question us, do not criticize us. We can criticize everybody else. We can say anything we want to make sensationalism, to feed into a story, to get everybody feeling like they're getting a pat on the back. It's like, ah ha ha, I'm right, look at those silly people. But don't do it to us. And I'm thinking, like the case of Thunderfoot having the balls to go against this beloved Canadian right-wing journalist, Lauren Southern, who everybody just, I don't, but so many YouTubers right now love her. They treat her like she's a god, It's like, oh my god, man, she's 21 years old, she's blonde, she's white, she has tits, man. And she says what I think, man. She brings it to those SJWs, man. God damn those SJWs and those liberals, man. They're stupid. And Laura Southern, she just shows them what's what. I know it gets your rocks off, but look at your own behavior. Who are you to criticize the left wing, the social justice warriors, the Anita Sarkeesians, if you engage in the same behavior yourself, this blind, this blind lack of self-awareness. I have self-awareness. I'm aware I could get banned from Twitter if I do something that the company doesn't agree with. And I think it would suck, but, I don't own Twitter. I don't pay Twitter's taxes. If they deleted my profile, there's nothing I can do about it. I hope they don't. I hope they don't delete anybody's profile. If I had it my way, Twitter would let absolutely anybody and everybody post on there. And if somebody got obnoxious or annoying, they could simply be blocked. And people would just shut up about it. Nobody'd make a big deal, But nobody is owed a Twitter account. I know I've just said that, but I think it bears repeating. A Twitter account is not a life necessity. It's not like you're taking away somebody's air, or their food, or their home. You're not throwing somebody in prison, if you take away their Twitter account or you suspend them. A Twitter account is a privilege granted for free to anybody. And if you fuck it up, as far as the Twitter Corporation is concerned, they have the right to boot you. And I'm not saying I think it's always fair. I'm not. It's sometimes hypocritical. I agree. Hypocritical, rude, and it can cut you off from friends you've made. I understand. I definitely don't want my Twitter suspended. But at the same time, I am aware that it is somebody else's house. Somebody else's playground. Come on. If I fuck that up, they have the right to kick me out. I've been 86 before from places because I did not obey the rules. I did not pay enough money. I was annoying. And I think Twitter should have the right to do that as well. It's not a tax-funded hospital or anything of the sort. It is a corporation that provides a service for free. And I don't know what more I could say on that. I know people really love these agitators, these Donald Trump sympathetic British people who love to be all cocky, have this narcissistic, up there sort of lack of concern for average Americans because apparently, the SJWs just say nothing of any value whatsoever. Especially not any of us dumb Americans. There aren't actual gay Americans who are afraid that they're going to lose their rights. That they are not going to have any value in the United States right now. That just doesn't exist. It's all just comedy. It's like, oh, ha, 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 look at those SJWs. There aren't people who are literally terrified for their lives, for their loved ones right now. I mean, yeah, that's just not happening. It's all just a joke, It's all just, the laws, the keck, whatever the fuck you call it. And, if you can mock these people who are legitimately afraid, who feel that a Trump presidency means the end of things in life that they depend on, which make them whole. If you think that is absolutely hilarious, even if it turns out to be true, and that Trump really means a lot of what he said, and a lot of these people are legitimately fucked, then why do you think you are owed a Twitter account? And believe me, I'm not trying to be vindictive here. I'm not saying, haha, you should lose your Twitter account anyway. I don't want to alienate anybody. I don't want to say that anybody should be kicked off of Twitter. Like I said, if it were my choice, everybody would have a Twitter if they wanted to. Still, why should I feel bad if you're kicked off of Twitter? Just think about it. And I understand if you don't like what I'm saying, if you think I'm being an SJW, if you think I'm being evil, I don't want to be. I think everybody should be allowed to be on Twitter, of course, but that's not me. I don't own the Twitter Corporation. If you want to change Twitter policy, buy into it. Then you can tell them what to do. Be their boss. Otherwise, you just got to accept that it's not guaranteed you're going to get a Twitter account. Especially if muckraking, causing shit, being a shit stirrer is your thing. You throw shit. Shit sometimes comes back to you. It doesn't matter how important you think you are or how many people love you. Whether you're Sargon of Akkad, Milo Yiannopoulos, Paul Joseph Watson, some uptight British Trump lover, mocking us Americans. It's like, oh, ho, 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 stupid liberal Americans, how dare they think that they could tell me what I can do on Twitter? Seriously. Seriously.